So I was finally able to figure out how to make a time-lapse on my 3D printer, and I thought it would be fun to recap the chaos that is my creative process. Initially, I thought I could use my camera's time-lapse settings, set up a tripod, and then magically a clear and beautiful time-lapse would appear. Once I realized that it definitely was not gonna work, I again foolishly assumed that I would just stumble across the perfect file or YouTube tutorial and receive all the answers I would need. Well, let me tell you, that couldn't be further from the truth. And I know what you're thinking. Ren, you're not an engineer. Ren, you don't have any experience whatsoever in designing parts. And while technically that is correct, what I lack in experience, I make up for in
charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent.
And in my book, that's all you need. Now, before I got into the design process, I thought to myself, I should probably do some research. I thought about using a webcam. I saw something about using a Raspberry Pi, but both of those options sounded hard. And I don't want to do that. So I decided to make something that would trigger the shutter on my camera so I could get clean, crisp, high quality images because I refuse to learn how to code. All I had to do was make a part that fit perfectly onto my printer and also a part that fit perfectly onto my printer head. After a ton of trial and error, I finally landed on a design that fulfilled all the needs that I had. It allowed me to take it off the printer when I needed to. I knew it was safe to adjust if I had to move it around. All I had to do now was make sure that the printer hit the trigger after each layer was completed. Luckily for me, I found some white dude online that knew what the fuck he was talking about. I copied and pasted his code into my settings, and I made sure that I adjusted the numbers so that it would work for my printer, and we were ready to get started. So I put my camera on the tripod, I made sure my remote was actually triggering the camera, and I began printing that bitch. After nearly a month of tinkering and praying, I finally figured out how to make a time lapse. Or so I thought. Obviously, my first attempt wasn't that great. I realized that the retraction settings I was using caused a ton of stringing, so instead of dealing with that, I decided to just get rid of the retraction settings. And with a bit of tweaking, I finally had a result that I was happy with. Am I gonna do this every time I make a print? Definitely not. But am I proud of myself for finally getting this to work? Yes. So if y'all enjoyed this brief glimpse into my creative process and want to see me tackle other projects, let me know in the comments down below. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.